I'm not afraid to die.
Terry Silver is a villain of legend in dreams. Welcome back, everyone, for a Slippery Silver Cobra Kai Season 5 Watch Party. Without a doubt, the knockout star of Season 5 was Terry Silver. He is one of the best villains you have ever seen. He's always one step ahead of our heroes. Any move they make is countered. Every plan fails, and they end up in a worse spot than when they started. He's everywhere, but at the same time, the show gives us his way of thinking, his purpose, his private battle with his own mortality. From the surface to deep underneath, Terry Silver has it all. What makes any villain truly memorable is his motivation. What is driving the bad guy? Terry Silver believes in what he's doing. He believes he's making the world a better place by expanding Cobra Kai. He was a twig, weak and scrawny. He had no chance against his betters. But slowly, over time with training, he became strong. He was fierce. He unlocked a power inside he didn't know he had. This style of martial arts changed his life, and it can change other people's lives too. A villain who truly believes in what he's doing will always be more engaging for the audience. You can see his point of view and maybe even agree with it. Maybe he's not such a bad guy after all. The problem comes in that the goal becomes an excuse for anything. And that way he's like Thanos, another popular villain who truly believed what he was doing was right. He had a reason for doing what he did. The evil was in that he used his noble intentions to justify horrible things. And so it's like with Silver. The intentions are pure. He wants to make kids strong. He wants to see them succeed beyond their wildest dreams. He believes he is so obviously right, he is justified in doing anything to get it. And so he disregards any concept of open and fair competition. He'll intimidate and attack anyone who wants to stop him. He is more than willing to harm kids and his own students. But then there's also the stakes. What happens if he doesn't succeed? It's an interesting question that isn't always addressed, but this show puts it on clear display. The stakes are what really explain why the villain is willing to go to the extremes. The stakes for Silver are multifaceted but related. The first and most popular theory right now is what if he's dying? While he appears to be in great fighting shape, there are a few clues that the functions on the inside of his body aren't working as intended. Could Terry Silver be sick? Really sick? Let's investigate. Perhaps the best place to start is when we see him in Season 4, Episode 3. Now, hidden behind the subtitles is his medication. Is there a reason he needs to bring his prescription to the breakfast table? Then, after the flashback panic attack, the chef, of all people, asks,
"Should I call the doctor?"
No.
That's an odd question to ask just because someone skips breakfast. It's worth noting, though, the screenwriter Michael Jonathan Smith gave an interview about this episode on Cobra Kai Companion, but he never mentioned or implied any sort of secret or under-the-radar illness with the scenes. He was mostly excited talking about the torch for the creme brulee.
And just working backwards, it's just so funny to me that that dessert is what triggers this entire story, more or less.
Anyway, Silver also takes pills later on. It's never indicated he quit taking his meds, even though many of us suspected that. Later in Season 5, he's at the hospital for no reason at all. They even have a discussion about it later. Why was he there? They don't know. Was he getting treatment for something? Maybe, maybe not. And at the end, he even openly said,
I'm not afraid to die.
Now, I think I should also point out some reasons Silver isn't dying of a terminal illness. The biggest would be that he sure doesn't act like it. I mean, he's at full karate power. People on chemotherapy or getting some other treatment are weakened. They probably couldn't do all this. Plus, he's drinking wine and alcohol several times in both seasons. If you're dying of a terminal illness, there's probably a good chance you'd let up on the booze. It's not that good for you. So whether he's actually dying of a disease or not doesn't change much. As far as character motivation, it's all the same. As he told Kreese,
But now, we're the old men.
He's got to build what he can. What is clear is that Terry Silver realized he's at a point in his life when he has to decide what will be his ultimate legacy. He didn't have kids, so he wants to leave the teachings that helped him. He views the expansion of Cobra Kai as his gift to the world. He's giving back as a rich man should. He's doing it for the next generation. He's like Bill Gates and the Gates Foundation, except instead of opening up charter schools for disadvantaged kids, he's opening up karate dojos and teaching those same kids to kick ass. This is his legacy. And the theme of a man's legacy doesn't end there. In a way, Cobra Kai is also the legacy of Master Kim Sun-young. That brings the family legacy that is so important to Sensei Kim Da-Eun. Every great villain needs a great second in command, and Sensei Kim is that. The fact that they are essentially both after the same legacy unites them in their motivation and lets you know their bond is strong. She's his loyal right hand and will even fight Tori, Sam, and Devin to protect it all. This desire to leave a legacy is something everyone can relate to. The heroes of the story have the same exact goal. While their immediate intention is to stop Cobra Kai, both Daniel and Johnny from the very beginning have been seeking to build and honor their legacy. For Daniel, it's always been about Mr. Miyagi, his legacy and the tradition of Miyagi-Do karate. Likewise, Johnny is trying to help his son and his karate son. The addition of another baby only increases his legacy stakes. It's what provides him the final motivation to overcome and win the final fight. So in a way, every side in this karate war has the same motivation. For Terry Silver, this is a continuation of Season 4's attempts to flesh out his character from the cartoonish one-note villain he was in Karate Kid 3. He's not laughing maniacally, instead he's building out his army. A long sequence where he comes to know Chosen, who's undercover, shows his danger and appeal. Sure, he's trying to recruit Chosen, but he comes off as cultured and ambitious. He knows the best whiskey. He has an incredible collection of artifacts and decor. Surely someone so cultured and refined couldn't be that bad, right? Haha, after Chosen's secret is out, he has 6 wannabe senseis attack him. He's pissed. He will continuously cheat to put Cobra Kai ahead. He's bribed every ref in the valley. He doesn't believe in a fair fight, or even a fair competition. This is a classic villain belief of the ends justify the means. Since Cobra Kai is right, cheating to win is worth it, even necessary. His ability to fluctuate back and forth between billionaire philanthropist and twisted psychopath is incredible. He does it at the country club where he subtly threatens Daniel and then laughs it off and buys a round of drinks. It's like 2 different people. Did that threat really happen? It's the same at the charity auction. He pushes Daniel's buttons, using his own expectations of evil against him. Daniel thinks Silver was bad-talking Amanda, but then of course he wasn't. He only said positive things about her. It makes Daniel look unhinged. This is a psychological attack. It's what makes Silver so unique in the franchise and anywhere really. It's one thing to be intimidating with fists and brawn. That's what karate teaches you to defend against. But how do you defend against someone attacking your mind? How about a villain who picks a mental fight against your sanity? Wax on, wax off can block a punch, but it can't protect you from gaslighting or duplicity. Sand the floor can block a kick, but it doesn't help you after you ruined your wife's shot at the charity board. How can karate defend against any of this? This is how Terry Silver broke Daniel down. He got in his head, made him paranoid. The paranoia will make him second guess himself. It worked like a charm. We just don't get bad guys like this. He's dark, gritty, and he does it all with a smile. What a charming guy. I feel like these days, especially with the explosion of comic book and superhero movies, anything related to a mental battle would be depicted with superpowers, like a telepath or whatever, literally taking over your brain. But this is so much better. Silver's attacks on Daniel are real and grounded. It all leads to their confrontation in episode 5. Daniel has trained Miyagi-Do for years, and you'd think he could put up a fight, but obviously he can't. He's too off balance. Silver's mental attacks were like doing food prep for a big holiday dinner. If you want it to go perfect, you have to start long in advance and do it a little at a time. And likewise, in order to beat Daniel, Silver had to wear him down. He threw Daniel off balance, bit by bit, until he could no longer fight. Then the real pain began. Now all this is really the natural continuation of Karate Kid 3. In that movie, Silver was conducting a mind war against Daniel. It was in a different way, but still mental. It's Silver's modus operandi. When you put the full picture of Terry Silver together from the movie in seasons 4 and 5, he's an ominous, deadly, powerful antagonist. He broke Daniel twice, but both times he was ultimately saved by Mr. Miyagi. Up next, I want to talk about Hawk because he's not winning nearly enough fights. Be sure to subscribe to see it. Have a great day. I'll see you at the next watch party.